discussing today is the Vampyre Court of Shreveport, which uh, vampire courts are, like I said, in a big established cities, usually like New Orleans. Dallas has one, and other places across the world actually have these vampire courts. So they're an interesting organization that formed in 2020. They have been doing some charity work in Shreveport as of recent, and plan on more charity events. And hopefully, in the long run, they want to host a masquerade ball that will be in benefit of a charity. And this is an interesting organization, and I look forward to showing you the interview with the vampire king of their court, Jamie Fisher. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take you guys over to that so you can get a little, get a little insight on this organization. They're really cool. They've been participating in, they participated in the zombie walk this year, but also have been, they're working with Lifesaver Blood Centers. I know that's a little funny and on point for the type of organization that they are. So enjoy, guys. Hello, this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we celebrate and explore the arts in our area. Today's guest is the king of the Vampyre Court of Shreveport, an organization that is connected with the beauty of the night and a subculture that has been around quite a long time in the state of Louisiana. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is James Fisher. I am the current king of the Vampyre Court of Shreveport.
All right, so can you tell me about the Vampyre Court? What is it?
The Vampyre Court. Oh, that's a very long question, but I will try and keep an answer short. So, long time ago, around the 60s, there weren't very many alternative places for people, kind of the outcasts, to go. So they started adopting the vampire lifestyle, kind of like Anne Rice said, the vampire is a metaphor for an outcast. So we all started adopting these lifestyles, and it sort of grew into a larger subculture with its own lore and its followings. And through that, more communities have grown since the 60s, and now there are communities all over the world, multiple vampire courts and covens. And at their core, most of them try and do things to benefit their surrounding communities.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I love Anne Rice. Just one of my is my favorite author of all time, and I love her books. And I love that you quoted that. It speaks perfectly to the vampiric lifestyles with Anne Rice's work. So how did it begin here in Shreveport specifically?
Well, here in Shreveport, so I've been part of the vampire community and subculture since the early 2000s when I first discovered it.
Yeah.
And kind of when it really went through its blossoming stage with nightclubs in New York known as Mothers and other places where these individuals started coming together and fang smiths started emerging, creating fangs for people and creating these intricate families and houses. I was a little too young back then to really get into it, obviously. So I went through my life and grew up, and we really never had one here. And when I came back from the Marine Corps and been back for a while, it just started coming together around here, and I started meeting more people that have been in and out of the culture through their lives. And I ran into a young woman by the name of Alessandra, and she lived near here, and she was like, "Hey, I have an opportunity to try and create a court here. We have the blessings of some of the other larger courts, like Maven Lore's House of Lore in New Orleans, and the Sahaja, which is a large, older community, one of the mother houses, as you will, if you want to put it like that, where a bunch of other houses have stemmed from. And they gave us their blessing to try and start one and said they would support us and promote us and help us out. And so she came to me and I said, sure, I would love to help out with that. And I actually started off as the royal advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't want to be the king at the time. I didn't fit. I never really wanted the position. But as we grew closer, we realized that working together and us being in the same equal position, we had a better chance of making this a growing, safer environment for the alts and goths and people of the culture in this area to give them a place to hopefully come one day and express themselves and give back to the community.
That's awesome. So, how long? So you've been in the community for for a long time, since you were a kid.
Since I
Much
was
like I was much the same way. I was in I had been goth since I was in private Catholic school. That was an experience. And then growing up, we had a small kind of a coven of our own here in Shreveport for a while, and we it really was a difficult time in that early age here for people in the alternative lifestyles. There's a lot of stigmatism. There's a lot of people criticize and judge things they don't understand. So I'm sure that finally having a group that organized like you guys are and helping bring people together, maybe, and working in the community is great. So, um, can you talk to me about some of the active roles you've been having in our community recently?
active roles. So this year we started to get a little bit more traction. We struggled after COVID. Everybody struggled after COVID, and we honestly didn't think we
Yeah,
would
we did.
be able to build back up. We lost members, had to leave for jobs. So it's been a huge building problem, honestly. But this year we were able to pull some funds together and pull some resources together. We hosted a blood drive out at the Dixie Corn Maze at the beginning of October. And that blood drive, we were able to gather enough units of blood to, if I remember correctly, we could save 51 lives with the amount
Oh,
of blood that was donated that. And so then at the zombie walk, we use small events like the zombie walk, not only to give back to the community by donating to the cause for the food bank there, and then we sell small wares there that go into our court fund. And through our court fund, we try to hold larger events. We're trying to plan some larger events, say a masquerade ball. That's kind of like the big goal for most courts is to hold a large masquerade ball.
oh, that'd be wonderful.
A huge portion of the masquerade ball, the majority of the profits go to a charity.
That's great. It's good to see that, and maybe it would help against the stigma that a lot of people have against the vampires and the goths of our community. Um, so, what uh, do you feel like art is an important part of the vampire court?
An entirely important part of the vampire community, period. Everything within our community is about beauty. When people think vampires, they do tend to think the more blacks and silvers and goth colors. But within our community, we love and express everything. I know what we call pastel vampires.
Oh
They
yeah,
dress periwinkle, chartreuse, and they're gorgeous. They're living forms of art. They look like period timepieces just walking. And then many people within the community are rooted in art and they make things. They do paintings, they make jewelry, they make the resin work in the coffins. Like I think you said you purchased a
yeah.
coffin from us last year. And so art is a huge part of our community.
That's wonderful. I would say that's a big part of I mean there's a beauty to the darkness, and that's what a lot of people don't understand about goth subculture and the vampire subcultures is it's a celebration of the beauty of that darkness and the romance that is behind it too. And it's great to see the artistic, I want to show that artistic uh part that you guys have, and the things you've created that I've seen. I admire and I love it personally because as a person who was also in those communities, it's definitely the type of things I like. um, so let's see. what would you say to someone that is still skeptical of you and groups like yours?
I would say there's a lot of stigmata about groups like ours. First and foremost, we live in the South, which everybody knows they like to refer to as the Bible Belt. So down here in the South, it can be really hard sometimes. A lot of people, as soon as they see something they don't understand, they instantly run to it's wrong, it's evil. There's something not right about it. Especially when you think about vampires. When people think about vampires or witches or Wiccans, they instantly think we all worship you know who. They think we
Yeah.
worship the devil.
Yeah.
In the vampire community and subculture, we don't have a set religion. You can come into our subculture and worship whoever you feel is who you need to worship or not worship at all. We will never force any type of religious path upon you. And we just don't view that as a needing to be part of the community because like you said, what we're trying to do is the vampire community is just a beautiful elegance of what people would call the outcast. People like to discard things all the time, but where one person's trash is, where one person's outcast is, that's another person's mentor. That's
Mhm.
another person's guiding light.
Yeah, and oftentimes things that help us cope, the communities that support us, and I think much like a church or a coven or a group, we all need community, and people that are outcasts, they need that community too. So I feel like a organization like yours is absolutely necessary. To help others that maybe felt alone for a long time.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things we're trying to do in the future. I know a lot of our events here lately have been somewhat adult oriented. Like we have a goth night coming up this coming Friday. It's at a local nightclub, the Corner Lounge downtown. We're hosting it for them. But in the future, we do want to put together events where the younger goth styled people of our community, the younger generation, the teenagers, have a safe place to come and enjoy something without fear of persecution or without danger.
Yeah. Especially like you said, sometimes in the South, it can be uh, dangerous. I remember when I was younger, especially, we would have people throw drinks at us, like drive by and call us names, and just horrible things. And I feel like Shreveport's gotten a lot better than it used to be back then. There's a lot more acceptance, but I think there's still people out there that just they react out of fear and
It's
and
true.
and I like an
Have gotten a
understand.
lot better. I don't know how old you are. I went through school during the Columbine era, if we all remember that. And during the Columbine era, I had a black trench coat. I was wearing it before Columbine. All of a
Mm,
sudden, after Columbine, I was a target.
yeah, I'm
Everybody thought I
sure.
was up to something, and it just wasn't so. And I hate that stuff like that has put a black mark on our type of society and just that part of the world and the events in the world that happen somehow seem to get just thrown on top of a group that had nothing to do with it.
Hmm. It's like that one thing, one bad egg can ruin it for an entire group of people. It's like we're not bad people. If you actually got to know us, there's we're creative. We have a lot of great intellectuals within those communities. Like and you've served your country. You said you were in the military.
Yes, ma'am. I was in the United States Marine Corps. My contract was from 2007 to 2015.
Well, thank you for your service. And these are things that are important. You guys also are doing work, life share, blood center work with them, helping the community. And I think that if people see these kinds of things, maybe they can understand that, like, hey, if you actually got to know these people, you'd probably like them. You know.
Possibly. We're not going to hurt anybody. We're just trying to make things better for people.
There you go. Well, is there anything else? Oh, you know what? How would someone go about joining your coven or your group, your court, or and follow you if they want to follow you?
So we do have an Instagram and a TikTok account now. And we are on Facebook, the Vampire Court of Shreveport. So that's probably the easiest way to find us is the Vampire Court of Shreveport on Facebook. And if you want to join us, you're interested in joining us and trying to help us do better things and bigger things in the community and help grow this community, you can find us there, send us a message, and we'll be glad to reach out to you. And we can set up a meeting with you and we'll talk to you in person. And we like to make sure it is a good fit for people. You can join and then you can leave if it's not a good fit. But we never want somebody to join and feel like I joined this. I got to stick it out, even though it kind of doesn't
Yeah.
really work for me. We're definitely the type of people that we want you to fit us as much as we fit you. Kind of like we want to be your tribe, and we will bring you into our tribe.
All right. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to say to our viewers?
I don't have anything I would like to say. I just hope we get to see y'all around, and hopefully, if we all work together, we can make Shreveport something very great for this type of community.
Oh, I hope so. I hope that for our communities like yours and for the arts communities as well. And I'm glad that your group, the court, is active in our arts community as well.
We're going. Well, like to say that you were talking about the art community. I can say that one of the huge influences we love in Shreveport of the art community is a local artist known as the Moonlit Artists.
Oh yeah.
They have a lovely couple of ladies, Faith and Amber. And I will say, if you do like dark art and darker styled art and potion bottles and of those things, please check them out because they really have some gorgeous dark art in this community.
I have met them. They have beautiful work. I have I've seen their stuff at a GeekCon, and I think I've seen them possibly at one of the zombie walks previously.
I think they're typically at the farmers market a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. So
And they
definitely keep your eye out and support those those artists as well. So
yes, ma'am. All artists need support. I
that's
agree. All artists need support.
very true. Even if it's as little as just leaving a comment when they post their art or sharing their art. You
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
even something as little as that is important, and supporting groups like yours can be as little as just sharing the events.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We'll hopefully talk again soon, especially if you get that masquerade ball going. I maybe I could come. I would love to. I would love to be
We'd
there.
have you as a guest.
Oh, that would be wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for the conversation.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. All right, so that was the interview with Jamie or James Fisher of the Vampire Court of Shreveport. It's been a unique subculture that's been around for a while. Just like he said, since the 60s. Since around the 60s, the vampire, you know, groups have been around, and it has been a growing community, a safe space for the gothy people and the alternative people to have an organization. And I think everybody deserves to have groups. And one thing that I feel about it is, once you have a group, you're no longer really an outcast. And you may have felt that way before, but you can have a place that's safe and where you can start to heal from, from the pains you had from maybe bullying and other things that you encountered in school or even in your adult life, continuing on. Because some people, they think that it's just a phase, and maybe for some people it is. And it isn't always something, when you're a teen, you go through stuff, and you try out a bunch of stuff. But then there are people that have grown up well into adulthood. There's a thing called elder goths. There's subculture people who are elderly that have been in the culture since the 60s, that are still around today. And that I think it's fair to have a safe space, and I think they're doing really good work. And really, that's what matters. Is if they're contributing to the community, I hope that others can take a look at that, and judge them for the merit of their work, not just because they're different. Um, I know a lot of people are. It's been a very conflicting time this month. There's a lot of people fighting, and I hope that we can start to really look and learn from each other, and get to know each other, so that there's less, anger and less judgment. And I hope that one day we can get there. But thank you guys so much for watching ArkLaTex Artistry. You can find more of my videos on KSLA.com under Community and ArkLaTex Artistry, or you can find the podcast section, and all my videos are there. So the articles you can read on the site under the Community section, the videos you can find there. You can also find more of my stuff on YouTube on the KSLA's playlist. You should be able to find ArkLaTex Artistry. And you can also find us on Roku, Apple TV, the News Now, News 12 Now app. So yeah, look us up. We're everywhere. You just have to do a little digging. We have plenty of local artists and art organizations that I have interviewed, and you can learn a bit more about the art culture, not only in Shreveport, Bossier, but also from East Texas, and some from Arkansas as well. And maybe one day I'm hoping we can talk to someone in Oklahoma, which we do actually here at KSLA cover the little corner of Oklahoma there, McCurtain County. So if you're a art organization or an artist from that area or anywhere in the ArkLaTex, you can give me an email, and you can email me, Brittney Hazelton, spelled just like this. Brittney, period, Hazelton at KSLA.com. You can email me about an artist you know that you would like me to talk to, or an art organization that you would like me to talk to, and, give me some ideas. If you're an artist yourself, send me some samples of your work. I'll send you a form to sign up to my list of artists that I hopefully will get around to talking to, all of them, but it's going to take some time. So thank you again. Take care, guys, and see you next Saturday at noon, like always, where we'll explore the arts in our area. You take care, guys.